Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show. We are coming to you live from an undisclosed location somewhere in the hills of Austin, Texas. It is a beautiful day. We are brought to you as always by our partners Postscript and AMP, and we have got a jam-packed show for you today. We talk about one thing and one thing only. That's what's now and next in e-commerce. So operators and marketers just like you can survive and thrive. ChatGPT ads cometh. They are here. What was long rumored is now officially announced. AI agents are quietly replacing workflows. Octane AI released something very interesting over the weekend. And Rachel Carton pushes back on Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri's recommendations for creators on his platform. Raw is no longer a moat. It's just part of the prompt. And while all of us argue on the internet, the brands who are feeling most human are consistently and continually winning. We're going to be talking to one of the OGs of D2C who's coming on the show today, former co-founder and CEO of Chubbies, who had a big boy exit 10 years later, and current co-founder and CEO of GoodDay, Kyle Hency, is joining us on the show. You have picked a good day to tune in, my friend. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Huge.
Let's go.
I'm so fired up.
I am so fired up right now. You know, you and I, we both look very wise right now because
Why you say that?
we have said this for long days to come. ChatGPT ads are coming. Don't listen to what Sam says. They are coming. It's a smokescreen. They have to come, and they are here. Carson, bring this up for us. We're looking very big brain right now. This came out from OpenAI over the weekend. In the coming weeks, we plan to start testing ads in ChatGPT free and Go tiers. We're sharing our principles below, which I'm not that interested in, to be honest. Sam Altman had this to say. This is our next one, Carson. We are starting to test ads in ChatGPT free and Go. Here are our principles. It is clear that a lot of people want to use a lot of AI and don't want to pay. Hello, of course. No, they don't. Nobody wants to pay, Sam. That's why you got to monetize those eyeballs in another way. It is clear to us a lot of people want to use a lot of AI and don't want to pay. So we are hopeful a business model like this can work. I believe that it can because of Sam's forebears, Zuck, and all of the like. And lastly, I think Barely, which is from Trung Fan, Barely released this as well in connection. January 12th, Google announces that it would start trialing ads in AI mode. January 16th, OpenAI announces that ChatGPT will start testing ads in its free tier as well. We look so smart right now. I think everyone is excited on the internet. Colin, what's your thoughts at first blush when you saw this come out?
It was a matter of time. They were going to do this. They were always going to do this. They have to do this, actually, from a valuation to keep up with their valuation. The amount of cash flow that they have to consume over the next couple of years is pretty absurd. So they have to monetize really, really aggressively. You have to do it with ads. But I'm super excited from a marketer standpoint because this is an entire new channel. This fires me up so much. And I hope the ad buying process, I hope they've taken a ton of notes from all the ads managers already and made the ad buying process really simple and easy. That would just warm my heart if it was really easy to use and really nice and a great UI. I'm super fired up. There's going to be an arbitrage event here. For everybody that knows, whenever an ad platform comes out, there's always some kind of weird arbitrage event where if you do this type of thing under these contexts and circumstances, you get a crazy good ROI. There's always that for every single ad platform. I'm excited to see what this is. And Maybe see how quickly they close the gap on that.
Hard agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Hard agree. I
Yeah.
am very excited because of the same point. There is an opportunity for arbitrage. That's what our entire industry in e-commerce was largely built on, is arbitrage. Facebook ads don't cost me much. It's like 40 cents per click. I can sell just about anything to anybody, and I've got enough margin to make up for myself and bring a nice paycheck home to the wife. I think and I hope sincerely, as you do, Colin, this is going to happen on chat. I think everybody who's built their business on Meta is hoping that there is a significant arbitrage opportunity on chat. Your sentiment was in kind, referenced and promoted as well in response to all of this. Let's go to some of our next ones here. Go to Matab Carta. Let me on the ad platform immediately. I need to buy ads.
Yeah.
Logan Gott had this to say. He said, massive opportunities to start an AI ads agency. Just saying. And then CTC's own Joy Sharma had this to say in the comments. CTC is going to be first to market for this. At Taylor Holiday, Taylor Holiday said, do it and be the best. Just do it. The excitement is palpable. I'm hoping there is giant margins for us brand side. I'm hoping there's serious, considerable wins on the agency side, pushing into it. I think if I were in an agency right now, I'd be borrowing, and stealing my way in. And I'd probably tell my customers, hey, we're going to do this for free for 30 days and make it awesome. And then pay us a big fat check afterward because you're making so much money. If you were brand side, agency side, you were approaching this, I mean, what would you be feeling and thinking right now? What would your plan of attack be?
Yeah, I would be, how do I even go about exploring this? I'd had to see the ads manager and basically see, because in the early days, you could do some really crazy niche targeting on Facebook. I don't know how they're going to allow this because it's going to be in a chat context window. And so it's going to be basically, chat response feed ads. But this is a really, really, really exciting opportunity. If OpenAI just gobbles up, like, and I say just gobbles up, but if they gobble up maybe, a 20, 30% market share away from your average spend on Google and Meta as a consumer brand, everybody wins, because then everybody has to lower the prices for auction. Ads become a little bit more affordable to everybody across the board. And then you have less monopolistic players and it's more spread out and you're more diversified among platforms. I love this.
The biggest question that I have that has yet to be answered, obviously we all know very little, but one of the things that OpenAI has said, and Sam has reiterated, your conversations are private from advertisers. What? I don't get that at all. No. I say nay. We need that information to ensure this is a good buy. What do you mean the conversation is private from advertisers? That makes no sense at all. There needs to be some connection of people are interested in this thing, thus they see this ad. I would also say it reminds me most of Google search in the sense that this is like search 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0, high intent, but different from search in that when a person is querying inside of chat, they've had a long extended session, they're getting answers from them, they're clicking links, they're following up, they're going deeper. In a sense, this is different from search, and it may be more like Amazon's customers also bought, in the sense that this person is way down the funnel. There's a large amount of intent. They're talking about various things that are related to your product. And then, right here at the bottom, you can also look at this and think about this. It's clearly labeled. Okay. It's advertising. But to me, it feels similar but unique. and different from search. And maybe, hopefully, it ends up meaning more dollars and a better ad buy at the end of the day. I don't know that that's what current trends have shown as far as actual conversion is concerned when it comes to traffic from LLMs right now. But does that make sense to you, Colin, or does that sound crazy? Do you think there's serious intent, and does it feel a little different from search to you?
I think this is, like you said, this is probably the farthest in the bottom of the funnel. There was also a really honestly insane leak that came out over the weekend from OpenAI that Sam Altman and John Ivey are basically working on headphones for OpenAI as their first physical product. There's a 75% chance it's going to be released in 2026.
According to Kalshi, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you have to be thinking about how are they going to be inserting ads, voice ads into your headphones as you're talking with ChatGPT. And then basically you would need probably some form of payment on file, and then just a verbal confirmation of like, hey, yeah, we're going through this conversation. Hey, do you want to order that, Colin? Yes, please go order that. And then it's just super frictionless from there. And you don't even know that you're, putting your card info in. It already has your shipping address. It's got everything. This could be really, really crazy.
Hardware as an extension of what that ad platform is doing, to me, that only means numbers go up, revenue goes up, ROAS goes up. I'm hopeful that the same is true for Meta and Mark Zuckerberg's glasses. I don't know. How did Apple lose, Joni? What were we doing? Golden handcuffs. Lock that guy in a room. Put him in a closet somewhere. I don't know how you lost that guy.
Lock him in a room.
I mean, you got to do something.
He was so good.
Give him a golden prison, not just handcuffs. Yeah. I mean, build a golden prison for that guy.
Give him a boat.
Give him a boat. Anyway, give him a small country. I mean, you figure it out and keep that guy. Speaking of effective ads and scaling into the nether realm of revenue through the roof, we have a very important person joining us right now. He is the OG of D2C, former CEO and co-founder of Chubbies, current co-founder and CEO of GoodDay, and scaler through many things through the stratosphere. It is the one and only Kyle Hency. Kyle, get in here. Get in.
Yeah. What's up, guys?
Let's go. Wow. Big moment for us here on the show, having the likes of yourself, Kyle. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you joining us, my friend.
I'm glad to be here.
You know, Kyle, when I think of you, I cannot help but think of all my frat daddy friends in the early 2010s. I graduated from Texas in 2009. And shortly thereafter, anytime I was near campus and all my friends, those shorts, the Chubbies, the infamous Chubby shorts, they were everywhere to be found. I've always believed that apparel brands, to reach your niche, you need to be that niche. And I felt that you guys did this better than anyone. The hilarious content, the viral ads, you always came off to me as they understand who I am. These are the kind of guys I'd like to have a beer with. And I think men everywhere on the internet felt the same way. Talk to us about starting Chubbies then, and what gave you an edge inside of your market to eventually, do what you guys did and have the successes that you had.
Absolutely. I mean, I also couldn't agree more with kind of the overall premise of what you were just sharing. Like, it really, really is important to start with something that is authentic to you, right? And build where you know best. When we started Chubbies, we weren't thinking, let's build a shorts company. That would objectively be a bad idea. we were thinking, let's build a brand that we would love working on together and that our friends would love. And we started from there. Ultimately, over time, we sold a lot of shorts. We sold a lot of swimwear. We sold a lot of funky stuff that, we literally invented apparel items over time. But like, I do think a part of the reason you felt like that, that's really important, is when we started the brand, one of the core thoughts we had was, what if we just talk to our guys more like a beer brand and less like in a stuffy apparel business?
Wow.
And so when I think about the niche, I think about it more like that than I do, hey, we're selling shorts to frat bros.
That is very interesting. So you had this thought that what if we talk to them more like we are a beer ad, who for me, and I think for Colin as well, being children of the 80s and 90s, beer ads were always the best. I mean,
Cool.
I mean, to me, I felt like cigarette ads were always the best. You know, I know that's a little taboo now. They can't do that now, but that's interesting and very compelling. So you approach it from a frame. What if we talk to these guys more like we are a beer brand that inspires them to live in a kind of way, in a free kind of form, sets them free in that kind of sense?
100%. And the brand's still doing it today. I mean, that's like one of those things that's going to remain true for forever. You know, when you're building a brand, like what are the cool things you can build around that will never change? And so it's like, yeah, like beer ads are still more funny than apparel ads.
Totally.
I mean, watch the Super Bowl ads, right? Like it's just more entertaining. There's a lot more to engage with, especially when you're whatever, sub 50-year-old man, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I always found that you guys were always entertaining. You guys weren't trying to sell in your ads. It was always funny. It was always entertaining. Do you see any brands today where you're like, that's a reminder of the old days of this is exactly how I'd run the playbook? And you see some brands where you're like, great job, guys. You're doing exactly what you should be doing.
100%. And I think, I think more and more brands are taking this route. It's so much more important that you decide what your authentic lane is and that thing is different and unique to you than it is to try to be cool with the masses. I think the art of like trying to be cool and trendy and always on the front end of every trend that shows up and moves through is really, really hard. So we spent all this time really thinking to ourselves, how do we build a world where we can remain true to ourselves, but also be entertaining? Ask yourself, what are the things you talk to with your closest buddies, right? For men, for at least our friends, it's mostly humor-based stuff.
Yeah.
And so the idea of not having humor at the core of this brand we were building was never even discussed. It was just obvious we were always going to do it.
I love that. I love that. And I think this is, I don't know where I got this. It popped in my head at some point, but I think if you can make a man laugh, he will spend dollars with you. I really believe that. It's at the core of relationship building, at least in the West, for American male friendships. Humor's at the core of everything there. It felt like you guys had a great locker room energy too. All of that, it came off as genuine. And I know you guys have continued to work together thereafter with, outside of Chubbies, even after your exit. Give me some perspective and give our audience perspective, Kyle. I know that viral growth can bring some real difficult constraints. I mean, it's great when everybody's sharing your ad because they love it and they laugh. But then if they buy so many things, it can create some real constriction inside of the business. And we experienced this at Bruce Bolt when I was at Bruce Bolt. What was managing all of that demand in-house like for you guys?
Yeah. Well, you probably experienced this at Bruce Bolt. The way you talk about it, everybody's walking around being like, everything's broken operationally, but at least it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but it's still a thing where it's a problem, actually. So the mindset is like, whoa, this is a moment. We've like really tied into something culturally or in the market, et cetera. And then it's like, okay, how do you work through it? One of the mindsets that we found really helpful over time at Chubbies, because we had a lot of kind of viral moments. Some of them were marketing driven, some of them were product driven. When we first released our America shorts at Chubbies, you guys probably remember that back in like 2014, 2015 timeframe. Like it was a completely viral product. We couldn't keep that thing in stock for over a year.
Wow.
But we began to just operate assuming operational chaos was coming. And saying either we're going to launch this, let's just use the Americans, either we're going to launch this and we're going to sell 2 million pairs of them instantly, or we're going to launch it, it's going to be a complete dud. So what is our plan in both of those cases, and how do we either double down on it or how do we pull back from it? And so over time, we kind of got out of the game of trying to say, oh, like, how are you going to perfectly predict all of these things? And we just said, hey, we're going to have some viral moments over time. You kind of always need to be ready for it and build it into how you operate day to day. And so, I think the truth is, even at GoodDay, where we brought on, over 40 customers, we had many of them sell out of literally everything that they had in the warehouse midday on Black Friday.
Wow.
Right. And so it's like, there's not a whole lot you can do at that point. In this case, we helped them do a bunch of pre-sales of things that were coming, but you're just always going to have some uncertainty around the corner. And I always advise brands when they're building, especially when they're young, just build into that. Just know it's coming.
So customer success is breaking down when stuff like that happens. Inventory obviously is a mess. You don't have any inventory, Founder is like pulling his hair out. I wish we had 3x the amount of inventory that we had, sell, baby, sell, make hay while the sun is shining. So you're experiencing all that, and you guys are experiencing those frustrations internally, managing that chaos as you scale. And then I think that probably really informed what you've done here afterward. I know you've been involved with Loop, and I know what you're doing now with GoodDay. I mean, it seems born out of that kind of chaos and frustration. Is that the case?
100%. It was like, okay, we're 10 years into this thing. We're looking back at it. And you're saying it's true that every year there's something operationally wild and chaotic that arrives on my doorstep. So now that I know that, I'm trying to build a more simple, a more lean, a more adaptive infrastructure to be able to grow and build the business. Now, when we were doing this back in 2014, 2015, our spreadsheets totally imploded. We thought we were pretty smart. We thought we had everything covered. We did not. And we ended up having to go build a big clunky piece of software in a legacy ERP called NetSuite. We were building GoodDay to just make that entire process seamless. Get brands out of spreadsheets earlier in their life, give them the necessary operating tools, make it much more cost effective for them, manage their inventory better, give them more leverage in these big holiday seasons using things like pre-sales, et cetera. And so, yeah, it is like literally a reaction to our experience and saying, okay, this doesn't have to be this hard. Let's create an operational world where it's actually pretty straightforward and easy. And we're extending Shopify's capabilities even deeper into the back of office. And that's really what is GoodDay in a nutshell. It's a really, really powerful piece of software that's extending Shopify's capabilities into the back of office in ways that most ERPs do. We look at it as an ERP alternative because we're just not building it the same way that ERPs were built in the past. And so yeah, we're really excited about this. And I think I shared that we had a really successful fundraising back in Q3. And so really, really excited to bring more brands on, help them out.
That's exciting.
So just to follow up on that. So you enter in the SaaS world, you're entering into the B2B playbook of things. You have shifted from the consumer playbook of things where it's pretty tried and true, buy meta ads, do all the things. How are you thinking about GoodDay moving forward and marketing that? Are you thinking, I'm going to try to do a Chubbies moment for GoodDay, or are you going to try to do something else? Are you thinking about, we're really bullish on in real life events here, something along those lines?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say in general, you can take the guy out of apparel, but you can't take him out of building a brand. So I would say like number one, we're building a piece of software called GoodDay. It's like optimistic at its core, and I'll tell you, I don't see a lot of that in operational software.
Wow.
So we are like literally thinking about that. I would also say the name GoodDay itself is like, hey, today's a good day. You got it. You got all the tools you need. When otherwise you might be having a bad day, right? And so we're definitely like thinking about a lot of the things that are kind of pulling out of our consumer roots. I would also say if you talk to our customers, the thing they'll tell you that's the most different about GoodDay relative to other people we compete with is just like we are brand operators. We are brand founders. When we dig into something operational, we're talking at a depth that they're just not used to with their B2B partners. And so no different than Chubbies saying like, hey, we're really good at selling shorts to dudes that are post-grad and like getting into these big cities and socializing, et cetera. Like GoodDay's niche is like, we're really great at being brand operators. And so we think of ourselves as an operational extension of these companies. And we go all the way in. We have private Slack channels with all of them. We're like genuinely operating with them. So we are pulling on a lot of what we learned from those days. But I would say in general, like I've kind of taken in terms of like getting out to the market, we've just decided to just be authentic, get in there with the brands, host in-person events, any opportunity I have or my team has to get in the same room as a brand. That's how we're going about it. And we're kind of like, how much are we spending on Facebook ads? $0 this year.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Sure.
I
100%.
love this because, I think on your roster right now are some of my favorite brands, Poncho, and of course I'm Central Texas bias. Okay. Burley Bow, Trey played on the same team that I was on with
Amazing.
Texas.
He's built an amazing business.
Yes. And the guy's built an amazing body too. He looks like he's still playing football. Yeah. I mean, I'm continually surprised by the guy. The Normal brand, Muggsy. You're telling me that not only do you have this kind of unique Shopify integration, Shopify native approach, but also when people work with you, they get you guys as operators involved with them. It's not just you roll out a software to them and please don't bother us, but they get your mind, your involvement on what they're doing.
Absolutely. And like, it doesn't stop there, right? How do you keep brand DNA at the core of building a software company? Half of our employees are former brand operators.
Wow.
Like it's what we're doing, right? It's what we're building. It's who we're hiring. And so it just is a different plan. I like, look, super candidly, it's not without risk. We're a startup, right? Like there's risk in anything you do, but that's just how we're being unique and different.
Colin, I think that Kyle should join us in the unannounced event that we have coming up just after Commerce Roundtable. I'm not officially announcing anything here right now, but I think he's got good vibes. I think he should be there. Is that fair? Can we just time out Kyle real quick?
It is a core. I do want to say it's a core strategy of ours to host happy hours.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Somebody named GoodDay coming in and hosting your happy hour, just kind of like getting your day into a good.
That's nice.
It's nice, right? Like that's core strategy.
I have to say, Kyle and I have hung out with Kyle late at night before. Kyle's a good hang. You want Kyle to be hosting your happy hour. You do.
Let's go.
We need to find a way to get John Mark Craddock there too. I love John Mark Craddock. We got to dig him out of South Austin and get him there.
Can I throw out a kind of wacky one? Because I was listening I was listening to some of what you guys were talking about before around how these ad platforms show up, and there's this arbitrage moment. Like we literally used to call that the Arby's moment at Chubbies, and we would be throwing around Slack Arby's emojis like, oh, it's Arby's time, baby, let's go. And so just to like put a little bit of like just real world, like how real that is, like we would literally be like, when Facebook ad platform arrived, we had already spent a year building community on Facebook. Oh. Our Arby's moment was 3 years long.
Wow. Yeah.
Like by the time we got to Snapchat, the Arby's moment felt like it was like 4 weeks.
That's
TikTok like 2 weeks. Like, so I would just say, get fired up, get your Arby's, get in there. It's coming. I just hope it would be nice if we have multiple years for these brands to play a little arbitrage.
Yes. Yeah. Give me all the Arby's moments we can get, right?
We need it.
We need it.
We do. We need that.
Yeah.
We need a 2011, 2014, 2017. Like we need those moments. I think that we do.
I do think the brands I've talked to over the last, call it 3 or 4 weeks, are kind of like, okay, we've been dealt all the shit sandwiches we can handle. Yeah. We're at kind of like a baseline moment and we're ready to attack going into 2026. So like, I would say personally, I've obviously been building pretty in-depth stuff for the last 3 or 4 years. I'm feeling more kind of like, okay, I'm seeing some green shoots in the distance. We're going to be testing everything related to AI all over the business. I mean, if you want to talk about brand, like companies that are going to test all of this stuff fast, D2C brands, they're going to be a first on the list. Yeah. So for us, as we think about building GoodDay, as we think about advising our brands to test all the new ad tools that are coming out, like it's a pretty cool 26, 27. As far as I think about building off of like a bottoming.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kyle, I know that you're a busy man. You got many things to attend to, even on MLK Day. But before you go, just give us 30 seconds, give us 60 seconds on, and maybe somebody is they're growing like a weed, but their inventory management sucks and they don't know what's going on. Or maybe they've been growing like a weed, but they're relegated to some software or partner that is not a fit for them and not integrated in the sense of what you guys are doing now. Give us 60 seconds on who should reach out to you. How do they get a hold to you? What's next steps if somebody's struggling with this kind of thing?
Yeah, amazing. So in general, typically the brands that make a lot of sense for us, they've built really special brands on Shopify. We built GoodDay as a Shopify app. So if you're not on Shopify, we can't support you. But they've grown so well, they're starting to say, oh man, I'm going to start to sell through Dick's Sporting Goods or Shields or Dillard's or one of these big retailers. And they're saying, oh man, I just don't have the infrastructure together for that. I have no one on my team to even know how to do that. And so that's one of the moments. The other big moment is like, man, we lost a bunch of inventory. Our accounting is a mess. Like we literally don't have a good handle on this overall picture. Those tend to be the two big times people are like, I just need to get better at this. And so once they're in that mode of like, we just need to improve this over the long haul, then we're a really great partner for them. Go to gooddaysoftware.com. You can sign up through the demo flow. We're a startup with less than 20 employees. So it's going to be me and one of my former Chubbies employees hopping on, showing you around GoodDay, talking through your business and yeah, just trying to help you.
You know what I hope? I hope that there are some people like me a few years ago and they realize they're on a rocket ship and they have absolutely no idea how to manage Dick's, how to manage distribution and all of those things. And they're just, I need Kyle. I need some help. I need somebody who's been there and done it before, and they reach out to you and get on board. I hope that's what happens.
I love that.
Well, Kyle, we appreciate you joining us, my friend, and we look forward to having some happy hours together.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Wow, true OG of D2C.
That's true.
How about that Arby's moment?
I like that.
We got to get an Arby's moment.
We got to get an Arby's moment. Yeah. We'll find it.
I mean, I seriously take, I know that this is just his feel, but I take it seriously because when you have a seasoned operator, it's the same in the political realm. It's the same in the athletic realm. When you have a seasoned operator who's been there and done it before, and they have a sense about the signs of the times, and could there be some green lines that go forth for us industry wide, some new opportunities that are created? I like that. I mean, do you think we got an Arby's moment with Chat and Perplexity and Google and all the things on the LLMs?
Hopefully. I think that's going to be the moment is with Chat is you're going to have maybe like a month window where you can just go absolutely crazy and find some dispriced value, and you'll just go crazy with it. But I think they're going to close the gap quicker than ever. Like he was talking previously, how you had those moments and they slowly shrink even more. So he went from Facebook, Snapchat to a couple others, and they're slowly shrinking that window. I'd be curious how long they keep it open.
I just want to send a special message to Sam Altman right now. Sam, we need a longer Arby's moment, and a little long, brother, long. You got to get everybody inside of this thing that you can, right? You want everybody spending all their dollars. Make it cheap on us, huh? About a few years of an Arby's moment. Not too much to ask. Zuck gave it to us, right?
Well, Sean Frank at Ridge just said, I give 50% of my revenue to Meta.
Exactly.
If OpenAI can hit 40%, I'll give 40% of my revenue to OpenAI, no problem.
Please.
So you got to ramp up with those kinds of sizes of brands. And so I hope he keeps the window open long enough for like the big boys to come in and say, we're going to throw $10 million at this month.
Wow. I hope so too. Well, it is obvious. It's obvious. Kyle has been focused inside of our industry for a considerable amount of time. It's time for us to talk about somebody else who has great focus. And I'm talking about Postscript here. Focus is an amazing thing. Postscript is the only SMS player in our ecosystem whose only one job they want to do for you is make SMS your number one channel of revenue in 2026. That is a tall task. And I remember when Alex Beller, their co-founder, called me and told me, Chris, we're going to try and do this for you. SMS, number one revenue channel. I said, are you crazy? Are you really going to take that dare? He said, yes, that is our goal. Now, why can they do that? Because they only do SMS. They are think about and work on every day in every way. They're not doing 5 or 6 other things. And I know for you right now, that's probably how you do SMS with somebody who's doing 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 other things. And it's convenient, right? Because it's all in one place and space. Don't think that way. Don't think that way. In 2026, don't we all need a few more dollars? Couldn't we all do with a little more profit in the bank at the end of the day? I think so. If you go to postscript.io/SMS-benchmarks, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to find out very quickly what is normal for my kind of company in this category at this revenue level. How much should I be making with SMS? How much am I doing it right now? Then you get on board with Postscript and they're going to take you up and to the right. I think it's something like a plus 22% increase in the SMS revenue when people make the switch. And I hope that you do, not just for my sake, not just for anybody else's sake, for your sake, because we all need a few more dollars in our wallet at the end of the day. Many thanks to Postscript, our partners, and all they do for us on the show. Colin, last week, end of the week, there was a very interesting launch with Astral.
Oh, gosh.
Astral isn't just meant to be helping marketers. The quiet part is now being said out loud. The goal is to replace marketers. And the internet was not very happy about it. Savannah had this to say about it. Today, we're releasing Claude Code for marketing. I admit, when she opened with that, I thought this was Claude Code. That's what I thought. It's actually not. It's Astral. It does a marketer's work in minutes by browsing, clicking, and posting like a human would. The marketing hire is now optional. Dun, dun, dun. That being said quite out loud now. The marketing hire is now optional. Nikita Bear, who runs whatever he runs at Twitter. It seems like he runs the algo and everything else. Nikita and Elon both had some not very nice things to say. And this person captured it for us in the comments. This is literally a spam company. Her vision is spam. That's what Nikita said. Okay. Not a positive moment when that happens on the Twitter timeline. And Elon replied, yup. Okay. So not the greatest launch of all time when it comes to the X feed. I'm sure not what she wanted to happen. What was your take when you saw this transpiring and how they rolled this product out in the first place?
Great launch. Absolutely fantastic launch. If you have Elon Musk and the head of product commenting on your launch video, you've probably won. I'm not saying that the product is, I've never tested it, so I can't talk to the actual quality of the product or anything like that. I would be shocked if the integrations that are baked into the product are going to be continued to be allowed, because basically how it runs is with a bunch of APIs that are connected to a bunch of different places for posting and all of this stuff. And so that's how it's driven, is basically kind of crossing through the API and then, you know, doing a bunch of stuff as quote unquote bots. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but you kind of just level down the playing field of like, okay, is this bots or not on comments and everything else? So you're, again, you make the online experience a little bit worse because you're just like, I don't know if this is real or not.
To me, the issue that I have is not with the product. There's many products that are trying to do this, right?
Yeah.
It's automate normal X industry behaviors with agents. And the result is it's faster, it's more efficient, and it's cheaper for overhead. But I did talk with one of the best salesmen I know. He is a killer. inside of the B2B SaaS vertical. And his advice when he saw this was that you have to be really careful with the selling point that she led with. And I'm not talking about her mentioning Claude Code in the first sentence. I do think that was a mistake. But what I'm talking about is the marketing hire is now optional. He said you have to be careful with that because, of course, that is the implication. But if you lead with that, it can be really sensitive. And you only want to bring out that point if deep inside of the call, the second call, the third call, you feel that the buyer, this is actually an important point to them that they've already intimated, hey, overhead is difficult for us. Hey, this would save us margin to make us more profitable. Then you bring that bad boy out, okay? He said that really leading with this point is a mistake because it can be an instant no with the people that you're talking to. And I think this makes the point that AI in general has a framing problem right now. What do I mean by that? AI has a framing problem, especially with consumers. What is the benefit? What are the benefits to my life as a normal working person that this is supposed to do for me? We're largely being told these tools are awesome. They're going to change society. It's going to make the wealthiest businesses among us even richer and more successful than they already are. And now you'll be able to displace jobs. You'll be able to hire less people, which will mean more mashugana for your bottom line. The P&L is going to grow. It'll look even better than it was before. Isn't that awesome? Everyone who can hear my voice, isn't that awesome, consumer? These tools are going to be so good, they can replace you at work. And then inside of your social feeds, you'll be able to watch unending content that was not even made by a human, and you won't be able to tell. Isn't that great? Do you see how this is a problem in framing for the consumer? What's the actual benefit for the common man? To me, this highlights that there is a messaging issue in total. And I know that she is engaging in B2B SaaS. That's what she's doing. She's selling to business owners. She's selling to heads of departments and perhaps lightening the load on the organizational totem pole is relevant to them. But there still needs to be a human touch at the end of the day. In my view, there needs to be a human touch that frames this as beneficial to the person who's going to be using it and not simply as a cold benefit to the bottom line that will allow you to displace or not hire the new person who was hoping to join your company. Is that crazy, Colin? Am I doom and gloom? Am I off in the left field?
You're a little doom and gloom, but that's really good. That's a little
conspiratorial right now. Okay.
No, but I mean, that's crazy good context for the fact that you need that context for sales where you can't say these types of things to a head of marketing because it's like, hey, we're going to replace, and it's like, so you're going to replace me and you want me to then sell this to my founder? No, I'm not going to have this conversation. Like a lot of companies mess this up where they're like, hey, we're going to replace your heads of data. You don't need it. We'll do all of it. And then the heads of data is like, no, we're not going to have you build this internally. So I think you're spot on with that completely. I think at the end of the day, there's always going to be a human making sure that the guardrails and the overrides are in place. We're not just going to give 100% autonomy, rock and roll, do your darndest and rock and roll. Like for example, self-driving, you still are going to be behind the wheel just in case the off chance that the self-driving kind of little malfunction happens. So it's not there. And I don't think it's going to get there with work. We just are kind of figuring it out with driving a car. We got a while, but I don't think it's going to be, the craziest thing in the world. I think new jobs will be invented around AI. It won't just be the displacement of jobs. You're going to have, content monitoring people. You're going to have AI monitoring people, this types of thing where it's not just like, full displacement.
Well, I'm glad that you are here on the show to counterbalance some of the thoughts and feelings
Yeah.
that I have. But I do think in a very real way, point you made initially, this got a ton of views and clicks.
Yeah.
Even it got negative comments from the owner of X and their lead in feed or whatever Nikita's proper title is. That's actually good for them in the sense that more people saw it. I'm sure it graded against a lot, but hey, sometimes in marketing you need to ruffle a few feathers. And so maybe at the end of the day, it works out for them. If your value is in being fast, efficient, and tactical, AI is pricing you out. It is real. It is real. Taste, strategy, being a human that sits above and can make judgment in addition to deploying all of these things is what really wins at the end of the day. Secondly, in the view of AI and how it's changing what we as consumers take in, craft is better than raw. In the frame of what Rachel Carton is talking about here, Adam Mosseri, CEO of Instagram, released a very long essay, 2,000 words. I mean, to me, that's a lot for a CEO. Released 2,000 word essay on what he feels creators should do to win on the platform in 2026 in the context of AI and undetectable AI content replacing much of what is appearing inside of our feeds. And his take was that in a world where everything can be perfected, imperfection becomes a signal. Rawness isn't just aesthetic preference anymore, it's proof. Now, to me, this really resonated with me at the start. It's like, yeah, that's right. Okay. Unedited, pull it out with the phone, one long take, etc. That's going to prove that you are human in the context of many other things that AI is producing. But Rachel pushed back with this. I thought this was a really important point for us to consider as brand operators, as creators, as marketers. She pushed back with this, and I'm reading it to you now. If Mosseri thinks rawness is proof, he's missing the bigger picture. Rawness is now just part of the prompt. Rawness is now just part of the prompt. Mosseri wrote, savvy creators are going to lean into explicitly unproduced, unflattering images of themselves. In a world where everything can be perfected, imperfection becomes a signal. I see the opposite being true. As AI-generated content gets more realistic, we'll see creators lean into craft as a differentiator. It doesn't matter that you're shooting on a Sony FX6 or an iPhone 16. It's about how much work happened before you pressed record. You don't need a big budget. You need a big idea. Raw content isn't as authentic anymore. It's just part of the prompt. Your thoughts, Colin?
Yeah, I like it. It reminds me of, I think brands should maybe kind of flirt with the daily vlog, Casey Neistat style, and really kind of break down the barrier between brand and the people running the brand so that you see what's going on behind the scenes. I think I've talked about him on the show before. Marcus at Minted does a really good job with this for his YouTube channel, where you basically are following around Marcus. You're following around him doing his running workouts, doing, the calls late at night, him in the office, having espresso and all these things, him unloading stuff, like really not sexy things about running the brand and running the business. And that I think is an interesting angle that brands can take as we move to 2026 is really just document the journey completely unfiltered from your perspective and get a iPhone or a DJI 360 instant cam, something super easy, and just kind of rock it around and set it up and, capture some moments and really focus on that, I think, because, at the end of the day, I think all this AI stuff is going to be going back and forth. There's going to be a pendulum swing where it starts to swing. Okay, everybody's going raw. Now everybody wants to go back to perfect. Now everybody wants to go back to raw. But if you can just document the journey and the growth with your brand over time, I think there's that authenticity and trust that builds no matter what.
Well, I think you bring up an interesting point with Casey Neistat's daily vlog, Gary V in his daily vlog days, and what you're bringing up with Marcus doing it Minted. To me, that's a kind of an interesting combination of what Rachel is talking about, in addition to authentic, more raw footage, to have a daily vlog where somebody is following you, crafting that content, editing it, getting it up for the next day. That to me is what was so compelling about Gary Vee doing that and about Casey Neistat doing that is the effort. It is a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to have someone or yourself carry a camera around, follow you throughout the entirety of your day, and then cut that into something that is meaningful, that makes a point, that tells a story, and do the same thing the next day. That to me reads as effort. It reads as craft. Does that come off the same way to you?
Yeah, I would take it a step farther and don't even edit it. I would just say record, upload that raw completely, and it completely unfiltered. You make a mistake, you drop the camera. Yeah, I don't know. You do some weird stuff. You got to put it up regardless. That is the true authenticity. I don't think a lot of creators want to do that, but that's going to be kind of a crazy moment if someone is just like, you have it with the streamers where they have just absolutely exploded. You have Speed, who's just gone absolutely nuts right now. And I think if you basically make a brand around that type of, live Twitch vlogging, that'd be a really interesting move.
Going live. It's almost as if they should just go live, Colin.
Go live. They should go live.
Truman Show brand.
Truman Show brand.
To see that. Would love to see that. Yeah, well, the advantage isn't just the budget or the gear. It's how much thinking and how much reality you can capture inside of that. And why not index on more instead of less? I like your take there. Well, I'm moving forward here, Carson, into our good friends at AMP. If you can't explain your business inside of one dashboard, I'm not sure that you really understand everything that's going on. AMP's platform has a number of tools. My personal favorite is Lifetimely. It gives you deep insights into your P&L. What's your CAC? What's your LTV? All in one place and space where you and your team and your boss or boss lady can reference it, know what's happening, and you can scale with confidence in 2026. Don't we all want to scale with confidence in 2026? I think that we do. Everyone knows what it's like to have sheets and data hither and thither. This person reports it like this. This person is tracking that. To be able to put it all in one easy to view, easy to report place that anyone inside of your organization can click into and know where you are on a day-to-day basis, on an hourly basis, that is incredible. And that's where you find an advantage in the current climate that we have on the free and open internet that we operate on. What I would like you to do, go to useamp.com, sign in, take a test drive of what they do. It's going to allow you to scale with a little more warm blanket around those shoulders. I know what's happening. I know where we're going, and I know what I need to do to make sure that we make it to the promised land. Appreciate our partners, AMP. Go to useamp.com. Take a test drive of their platform today. Colin, as we get toward the top of our hour, a few interesting things, just a couple quick hitters here that happened in the AI space. I know that you saw these. Number one, not agentic commerce, agent commerce from Octane AI. AI agents now manage your entire Shopify business. The one-man brand and the one-man marketing team just got a little more real. It got a little more real. They've released this, and you can watch these agents manage your business in real time. Is this awesome or scary or both to you?
Both, but more awesome. This is so crazy cool. The ability to have all the integrations working together, and he listed a ton of different integrations there. This is amazing. This is the next step for how all of this stuff should be working with us. And it's great for testing and deploying at scale. This, I think, is the next step for how you should be running your business on Shopify. If you're a smaller store, try to do this as quick as possible and see if this will actually scale with you. And make sure it doesn't break.
I think this is a little scary for me that it's possible, and it is possible. but it's a little scary for me because of the point you mentioned right there. Just make sure things don't break. It's scary, man. That's
Yeah.
scary. I
It'll
mean,
break.
I probably need to take a test drive of it myself and maybe work with a few more AI agents myself, and then maybe I wouldn't be so scared. But something breaking on your Shopify website, or it launching the wrong product, or it putting up the wrong product photo, all of those things, boy, it gives me cold sweats. I can remember falling asleep, being asleep in the middle of the night, wake up. Did I say the wrong date on that email? Did I put in a typo somewhere? I mean, this is the life. This is the life of the e-commerce marketer. Only the paranoid survive. But if we can do this, and now it looks like we can, wow, what a benefit. What a benefit to the one-man brand and the one-man marketing team. When we were talking with Adam Turner, CEO of Postscript, on Friday, he mentioned that this is now possible, and it should be, that landing pages change based on the visitor individually. Your website changes, the products changes, the color scheme changes. It is unique based on the uniqueness, the one of one person that's coming to your website. Turns out it already is. It is real, not just inside of someone's terminal, but available publicly for us. Cody Schneider referenced this the other day. This is CoFrame. And I realize now in my own work looking at this, I don't just need AI to do things for me that make me faster, make me better. I need it to operate in and of itself, to continually test, optimize, A/B test, and create unique pages and experiences for customers who are coming. Colin, what were your thoughts when you saw this?
This is so amazing because this is optimizing when Chris has to go to sleep at night. The AI doesn't have to go to sleep. It can keep optimizing and give you insights for when you wake up. So there's this entire window where humans have operated where they're like, this is how I'm going to run my test, so to speak. And this AI can just collapse that window and take up all 24 hours for all of these tests and just keep going. You can, take the dog out for a walk. You can go get a coffee. You can take a little nap. You can do all of these things while this thing is just running in the background. And I think that's how we should be using AI, is do other tasks while stuff is running in the background, optimizing, giving you insights from those actions.
Well, I think this brings up a controversial point that you made earlier in the show, Colin, is that someone will always be at the switch.
Yeah.
I think for infinite productivity and maximize productivity, really what we need is my brain and my philosophy implemented into this machine and this agent that can run and work from there without me being at the switch at all. You take these principles, you make it better, go. I need you to not have me at the switch to make this continually better and better. Is that fair?
That's fair. I mean, we'll Neuralink you up soon and we'll plug it into you and you'll be good. But I think there's always still, even with this, you still have to have the review process. You still have to have the review window of how long you're willing to let this thing kind of go haywire and just operate on its own. Same thing with meta ads. You're not going to be staring at your meta ads every 5 minutes or else you're going to be crazy. But we let those things run on their own. And, you have your own way of, I'm going to check in every day, every 6 hours or something like that, where I think we're going to have that with AI, where we're kind of checking in with it, so to speak. And it's less about, always being plugged in there.
I want to turn the thing on and it work better than me.
Yeah.
And then it notify me when something is bad or something doesn't look right. That's what I want. That's what I want. And I think that's ultimately what we're going to be getting to, unless AGI takes us all over and removes all switches from our capabilities. Two more things before we run out here. I know not everybody's a huge Super Bowl fan. My Dallas Cowboys did not make the Super Bowl again this year. I think we're looking at probably 3 decades now. Your Ravens are also not in the Super Bowl, but there is a good reason for us all to tune in, especially inside of e-commerce. The most interesting man in the world, he is back. the most interesting man in the world from the infamous Dos Equis commercials.
Let's go.
He is back. All millennials and Gen Xers can rejoice. This was one of my favorite ad campaigns that ever existed. I think he went away for about 10 years, but he has returned. And now, you know, to be honest, I didn't remember that he was Dos Equis. I thought he was Corona. I did. So maybe it wasn't the best campaign ever, but I loved this guy. Loved this guy, and he shall return. I thought it was very interesting, though, another campaign to compare this to. There's another campaign that's out there. Obviously, this is a very human approach, nostalgic, bringing back a character that is known and loved. Another route that guacamole, avocados from Mexico has launched is the prediction pit. And you enter your information. He uses your name in a video, and then he makes some kind of prediction about the game or your team inside of the playoffs. Colin, did you see this one?
I didn't see this one.
Okay, well, I think it's better that you didn't. I thought this one was very lackluster. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's slow. You can tell, obviously, it's AI. We all know it's making cool images and video now that you can hardly tell is real. I think this one was a miss in that direction. What I'm actually excited about, and maybe it's because I'm 39, but what I'm actually excited about is seeing the most interesting man in the world again. I think they did a much better job of creating a person, a character that I'm actually interested in, that I like, and it makes me want to watch the ad. I don't really want to interact with the prediction pit.
Not at all. Nostalgia wins in 2026. That's a prime example of it.
Nostalgia wins. Before we leave, Alex Hormozy gave us some sage advice. I know we've all been inside of meetings and getting thoughts and ideas proposed that perhaps we were not fans of. He says this: if you want people to do what you want, just start it with, I'm aligned with your idea. Let's just insert what you want. As long as it's not too different, most people will just go with it to get the credit and also avoid conflict. I thought this is pretty smart. There are definitely some more difficult conversations that I have had in my work life that I wish I had started like this. You know what? I am aligned. I'm aligned on what you're saying here. Let's do that. Let's just insert what I actually wanted to happen. Did you like this? Did you see this? I thought this was great.
There should be 100 books written on corporate politics because it is a landmine.
Oh boy.
Yeah. If you can successfully navigate the corporate ladder in 2026, we should have you on the show for your best practices, because there's a ton of things also that I've fallen into where, you know, less is more, probably. That's the best piece of advice. Less speaking is the best advice for anyone in the corporate ladder.
Less is more. And that less can be like, I'm really aligned with that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And let's do it like this. What I actually wanted to take place. Very good. Need some one-liners. Need a top 10. We need a top 10 of one-liners to keep in our back pocket.
Yeah.
For navigating difficult conversations inside of organizations. Well, we want to say thank you to Kyle for joining us on the show. Thank you to Postscript and AMP, our partners who make this possible. And we hope that if you're working a day, you're tuning in and having a good time. Or if you're not, we hope that you're having a good day off too. From Colin and myself and producer Carson, hope you have an awesome day, and thanks for joining us.